So one of the most common complaints I get on my channel for some reason is TNT. So what is up in TNT? Why are we having so many problems in TNT? I've heard a lot of horror stories about TNT. I've been on Facebook groups. I read a lot about, somebody made a post that said, how was your experience at Prime on PSD and TNT? How was your experience through the process? So I was reading a lot of comments, and for the most part, the PSD part, people were saying, oh, it was great, it was great, it was great, it was great. A couple of people said, hey, my trainer did not know the points himself, and he was struggling out there and he couldn't teach me how to back. I've seen a bunch of stuff like that. So, I was like, okay, for the most part, the PSD guys are doing pretty well. Now, whenever it comes to the TNT questions that were asked, like how was TNT? A lot of the people that were praising the PSD part, they were all like, well, I went out with a TNT trainer and that's where it got difficult. So I've heard a lot of complaints about having to live in dirty trucks, how they didn't get along with their TNT instructor. Some of the horror stories were pretty bad. So what I'm going to tell you right now is that if we're dealing with stuff that's that bad on TNT, it's time to speak up. Let the fleet manager know. If the fleet manager doesn't do nothing about it, then go ahead and go up your chain of command. Go up to, right now it's going to be Chris Martin on the reefer. I think on flatbed it's Belinda. But go up to the person that's over the TNTs. You can always call the terminal and say, hey, I need the supervisor that's over TNT, or whoever's in charge of TNT placement. Call over there, talk to them. If that doesn't work, you can go to your supervisor of your division. If you feel like you're getting disrespected and you call the fleet manager and you feel like they brushed it off, and this goes for even the PSD trainers too. If you feel like your PSD trainer is not doing right, then you need to get in contact with the fleet manager. Whoever your fleet manager is, get with that fleet manager. Let them know what's going on, because the only way we're going to fix this problem about the bad trainers that I keep hearing about is if we stand up and say something. That way the next person doesn't have to be treated that way or deal with what you had to deal with. Now, I will tell you that a lot of the complaints are going to be not really great complaints, because if you're making a complaint, hey, me and my trainer don't get along, he has an attitude. Is he teaching you everything that you need to know? Yes. He has attitudes. Like, maybe you're catching him on a bad day, y'all can talk and work that out. And I'm not saying go straight up and start telling first thing, hey, my trainer said this, or my trainer did this, or my trainer did that. What I'm saying is, if you're completely disrespected, or you're having to live in a dirty truck, a filthy truck, you shouldn't have to live like that. If there's pee bottles laying around the truck, that's nasty. That's unsanitary. We shouldn't have to live in that. I've also seen complaints about maybe the trainer. How do I put this? The trainer he went out to the bar and he came back and he was drunk. That's not right. That shouldn't be going on. He should not be getting in that truck or dispatched on a load or any of that stuff and out there having drinks. He needs to go on his home time and do whatever he wants to do at his house, not while he's out here on the road. We're professionals out here. Act like one. If you have that happening, by all means, refuse to get back in the truck with him, and call the supervisors on shift that day or fleet managers. Let them know what happened. That's unsafe. If your trainer's freaking driving down the road, texting it on his phone, not paying attention, running over the rumble strips all the time, if he's driving down the road, texting and driving, that's not safe, and your life is in his hands. Go ahead and report that. That's not right. But if you get in an argument with your trainer, y'all got in a little argument, talk it out. You know, a little argument, it's not a reason to like panic. The first time you ever got into an argument, it's not time to panic and report that, because what we're trying to do is get rid of some of these bad trainers. And it all starts with the feedback we get. So say you and this trainer have problems with pee jugs and stuff like that, and his truck's a filthy mess and it smells bad in there, and he's trying to make you sleep on top bunk while he's driving. Like, all that's safety concerns and sanitation. So it's gonna be best to go ahead and report that. That way the next guy gets on that truck, and if he's saying the same things, they need to pull him in and take a look at his truck. Maybe by him getting these reports, him or she, because we got female trainers too, my bad. So him or her, they need a case built against them, so nobody else has to put up with that. Like, you know, it's unfair to the student to have to see pee bottles laying around. That's unsanitary. To see their trainer like with no hands on the wheel, driving with his knee, eating a Subway sandwich or something, driving down the road. That's unsafe. Like, your life is in their hands while they're doing this stuff. So I don't suggest anyone sit there and put up with this kind of behavior. So I'm for the most part, now don't get me wrong, for the most part, there's a lot of good trainers out here. We have, I like to believe that we have more good PSD trainers and TNT trainers than we do bad ones. And the reason I say that is because probably about 1/10 of the students that call me and have a problem with their trainer, 1/10 call me and have a problem. The rest of them, they're all like, oh, my trainer was great, my trainer was great. So every once in a while I'll get a phone call, and it's been quite some time since I got one. But the other day I was doing my live, and there were so many people talking about bad trainers, how I was treated, this and that, and it's uncalled for. And I was telling people in the live, hey, report it to your fleet manager, report it to the supervisor. Like, let's move this up the chain of command. Let's start getting rid of these bad trainers. Now, I know not everyone's going to get along 100%. I went on TNT with my trainer. He did nothing disrespectful. He was grumpy a lot. That wasn't a complaint, because like, I didn't complain on him, because the thing is, I took it all into account. Okay, we're getting miles. Is he teaching me? Oh, he taught me everything on the Qualcomm. He taught me everything on my hours of service. Like, he was a awesome teacher. He was grumpy sometimes, and sometimes personalities clash. So what did I do? I just stayed away from him. If I needed him, I dealt with him. And most of the time, whenever I actually needed him and I woke him up, I think every time I woke him up and I needed him, he helped me out perfect. No attitude, nothing. The only thing was, when he first got up in the morning, it was kind of grumpy, and we were both tired, and, you know, we were both crabby. It happens. And living on a truck with each other for a long time, you know, stuff happens. You get tired of living with each other. You wake up every morning and you're all like, oh, this guy's in here again. Of course this guy's in here. He has to drive. You're all like, man, I just need a day away from this guy. So, you know, that's small stuff. As long as you're getting the training you need, then, like, if the personalities do clash, as long as nothing disrespectful said, like, you know, there's no racism, he's not being sexist, he's not being age discriminative, anything that's like completely out of line disrespectful, then let's just get through this training. It's all worth it in the end. Once you get your own truck and you're out of that, you're all like, man, it feels so good. I'm going to be by myself. Don't have to put up with nobody. And then the reality sets in. Wait a minute. I'm going to be by myself? You got to be kidding me. By myself on my own truck? Like, now I'm scared. Now I wish my trainer was back, even though he was grouchy and, you know, we didn't get along. Please come back. Save me, trainer. So like, there's some great trainers out there, and personalities, they're always going to clash. No one sees eye to eye on everything. Nobody does. But I would like to see more people speaking up. You know, we're grown folks out here. Like, it's time for, if you're living in a bad situation, it's time to say something. Hopefully you say something before you accidentally grab the wrong bottle of Gatorade and you take a drink out of it and realize that that wasn't your Gatorade. That was a bottle that your trainer left up there. Or maybe he used your bottle to relieve himself and left it in the cup holder. Because if they're peeing in bottles, they're leaving them in the cup holders and stuff like that. This stuff's getting everywhere. They get it on the steering wheel. Like, I'm a germaphobe. I'm going to go into a whole ramble off about how, like, him driving down the road peeing in the bottle is touching everything, getting that nasty urine on everything, and then you're touching it. Like, if you touch the top of your drink when you pick it up, like, we drink a lot of canned sodas. Like, could you imagine picking up a canned soda? Then you just got that urine on the top of it. You take a drink, you're getting it on your lips. Like, like, I'm telling you, I'm a germaphobe. Like, that's disgusting. Like, no. So definitely start reporting these guys. Please stand up for yourself. You know, we're all grown. Stand up for yourself. If at least not for yourself, stand up for the next guy, because he might have to deal with the same situation you did. And if you didn't like it, why would we want somebody else to go through the same situation? Hey, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, comment. I know there's going to be a lot of comments. I don't even have to say nothing. There's going to be a lot of comments. TNT trainers might see this and they might comment on there that I need to be quiet, shut my mouth, you know, whatever. And TNT students might put ex-TNT students, like, meaning you've already finished TNT. You might want to throw your 2 cents in there. And, you know, I don't care. Go ahead, send some comments in there. Like, I'm sure you will. But thanks for watching my video, and thanks for subscribing. I'm out.
Old trucking game. Check him out on his YouTube channel, all about trucking, because we know that you want to be a trucker. And if you want to be a trucker, there's only one place to go. And head on over to Twisted Big D. Twisted Big D.